just your excitement about heading into this game and playing in a whiteout game and what your expectations are for this moment.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's kind of like a dream for I think about a lot of people playing college football. So, just going in, enjoying the moment, and just executing.
Right here, John.
Gotten a lot of attention so far for the blocking this year in the run game. What goes into the mentality behind that, and in terms of just being able to sacrifice for the team so that you can get your touches later in the game?
Yeah, it's just a lot of people said I couldn't do it. So I think every day I kind of got to remind myself that people thought it's something I wouldn't be able to do. I think I'm doing a great job of it. So just continuing that mindset, going in and we start facing off against a lot better edge rushers and all that stuff. So just keeping that mentality going forward.
Right here, Eric.
What's impressed you most about Dante through his first four starts?
Yeah, I would just say his mentality and his composure. I think he's one of the if not the calmest quarterback I've ever played with. I don't think I've ever seen him panic. No, he just does a great job of keeping the vibe and the energy in the huddle very just where it needs to be. And I think he's very professional.
Back left, Aaron.
Just talked about just that mentality. Do you feel like the team kind of has that same mentality, that there's a lot of people out there that told you you couldn't do one thing and you guys are still out to prove them wrong, especially and now your toughest opponent possibly of the season?
Yeah, I feel like everyone's kind of, especially at the beginning of the season, everyone kind of counted us off. They say we lost our whole offense, our whole defense, whatever it was. So yeah, this is kind of for all the people that thought we couldn't do it. So just it's about the going out there and showing them what we can do.
Right here, Matt.
How does the team kind of embrace the whiteout that they're going to do and the moment, the crowd atmosphere and the big game philosophy? How do you guys kind of mindset go into that atmosphere?
Yeah, I think Coach Lanning said it great today. It's a whiteout because it's Oregon. So they know what's coming, and we know what's coming. So like I said, it's going out there and who executes the best. It's just about eliminating the crowd aspect and going in there and playing our game.
Right here, John.
With Penn State being a team that has a lot of guys that they can bring off the edge who can get after the quarterback, has there been any extra work this week with the offensive line with Dante in terms of you being a guy to chip guys and stuff like that in pass protection?
I mean, yeah, we do a lot of that like every week. Just mixing it up, keeping those guys guessing. If they don't know what's going on, it's going to slow them down.
James.
Going back to Dante, the two-minute drives the last couple of weeks going into halftime to score those touchdowns. What did you see from him in those drives, particularly the one at Northwestern? Obviously, he connects to the touchdown, but just what did you see from him by way of poise in those moments?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of say he just had the poise in the moment of just staying calm. I think if you watch both those drives, he did a great job of just keeping very level-headed, not getting too high, not getting too low, just commanding the offense, letting everyone know where they needs to be, just keeping the flow of the game going. I think he does a really great job of.
In the middle, Tyson.
When you were able to be so physically dominant in high school, what was your level of like curiosity going into college and just wondering like how does that translate against bigger competition, and what was that moment for you where you're just like I can still be this guy?
Yeah, I just always my mindset of just being competitive. Like I said, there was a really big transition coming from like the Idaho football level up into the Oregon football level. So once I just really got the fundamentals and the basics of what I need to get better at, Coach Marion did a great job of helping me put that to a plan. Once I stuck to that plan, I really started to see improvement.
Right here, Eric.
What are your lasting memories from last year's Big Ten championship and maybe any personnel that stand out from that team?
I mean, yeah, last year I had a great game against Penn State. So trying to go out there and replicate that. But no, they have a good returning players, a couple of edge rushers, linebackers as well. So no, those are all great players. Just got to go out there and execute.
Back left, Aaron.
Coach Lanning mentioned just what you guys are doing to prepare for the atmosphere that you expect to see on Saturday. Obviously, we hear the crowd noise,
Yeah.
and he even said that, cutting off the communication between the quarterbacks and the coaches kind of just in preparation possibly for that loud environment. Is there anything else that you guys are doing maybe in practice or even mentally to prepare for that atmosphere?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just like the mental aspect of it. I mean, we know it's going to be loud, but we just got to go in there and play our game. We're not going to really be able to do anything about the crowd unless you go out there and play. So, yeah, just keeping a strong composure and, like you said, the cadence, those kind of things go into it. But at the end of the day, you just don't want to be rattled by the crowd.
Right to James.
You faced Dennis Sutton 33 last season, but what have you seen from him so far this season, whether he's a 6 or a wide 9, where you're going to be helping out blocking him?
Yeah, he does a great job. He's quick, he's big, so he has a lot of attributes to him. But so we're gonna do a lot of things to help our tackles out, and even if it's a single block or double. But no, at the end of the day, he's a great player. We just got to go out there and, like I said, just execute better than they do.
Right here, Matt.
You mentioned Dante is maybe the calmest quarterback you've played with. I'm curious, maybe when did that realization hit you? When did it kind of click? Like, yeah, this guy's different.
I think after the first couple of games, just like the way he's handled, one, the amount of pressure he's had on him, and then two, just the command of the offense. I feel like we haven't necessarily skipped a beat from any quarterback. Like I said, he's done a great job of not just sitting last year, but preparing while he was sitting behind Dylan.
Right here, John.
You guys were in more 12 this last weekend than you've run all season, but we've seen that be a weapon for you guys this year, where because you have the ability to line up out wide like you did on your first touchdown this year. How do you think your ability to move around in formations, be able to work that 12 personnel, those 21 personnel looks, kind of open things up for the offense where you can get to different stuff from different formations and still use the same personnel?
Right. It's just about creating mismatches, I think. If a team wants to play us in base or nickel, then either if they're going to come out nickel, we can just run the ball, or they come out in base, we can do whatever we want. So I think it's just about finding those mismatches and then just kind of honing in on them.
Right here on the right.
Dan said a lot about how proud he was and how happy he was with the team's ability to not look ahead to this game. How do you train that, and how do you have the patience and help your teammates not be in Oklahoma State week and say, hey, let's look at Penn State?
Yeah, it's just kind of keeping that 1 week mentality at a time, and not overlooking any team. Like I said, it is hard at times, just being honest. But no, just understanding we have a lot of things to improve on each week, and we need to really focus on those things we need to improve on.
Last question here, John.
Couple of times on Saturday, the catches where it was just underneath routes, and then where Dante's hitting you, check down, and then you're able to pick up the yards after the catch for the first down. How have you felt that connection with him, where you're able to find those spots in the zone, kind of just sit and be that option for him underneath that he can trust as his tight end?
Yeah, each week I think it continues to get better. Just as kind of a feel thing, the more we play with each other, the better it gets. There's a big difference between game rep and a practice rep, honestly. Getting those game reps and just starting to feel comfortable, I think you can kind of see the offense starting to translate to that comfortable state. So just keep repping it out, and it's gonna be good.